Every city you burn, I'm gonna build one high.
Greetings, fellow Empyreans. I am Ashtarothi, the voice of New Eden, and it is May 2nd, YC126, and this is the Eve Universe Show! Welcome, 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 welcome if you are new. Settle in, sit down, like the stream. God damn it, Bad Boy Smooth. Thank you so much, man. All right, well, whew. All right, I was already discombobulated today. I just want to say that. So any sort of distraction or delay in me being able to get to any point so far this morning, you can just blame Bad Boy Smooth or, I don't know, me not being sober. Anyway, so we have a lot to cover. I've been doing a lot of the event. A distracting amount of the event, actually, but I've been having a lot of fun. We did take a break yesterday to run around in a bunch of these in order to run the sites and other anomalies in HiSec, which was very fun. You know, we had, between the three of us, we had 50 years of EVE experience. And, you know, 3 to 5 billion ISK worth of ships clearing drone, like the lowest tier drone sites, or some of the, you know, high-sec drone sites. It was pretty funny. We definitely confused a couple of people, I'm sure. But whoop, whoop, here comes the Space Police. So speaking of Space Police, we get a lot more information about Space Police today, especially in the Pulse News. I was setting up for the show, and then as I normally do, like at about an hour in, I look into like, well, is there anything new up? And there's a new Pulse. So we do have a new Pulse. And I think that the new Pulse is really going to allow us to walk through all of the things that we wanted to talk about today. And so for those of you who do not know, basically, you know, we've covered on several times recently, like Scope News. Scope News is like their in-game or in-universe news broadcasts, whereas the Pulse is like CCP's, you know, updates to us players, right? So we're going to watch that. We got a lot of new information, and then I have it, as you can see, I have it pulled up because there's a couple of things I definitely want to look at closer once we're done, but I'm going to play it all the way through once. And then we'll dig into some pieces of it. The implants in the ruin. Oh yeah, so that is one of the things, is that I have been getting an unusual, like there is a lot of Genelution implants I've been getting. And I do want to talk a little bit about the event too. You know, I have a lot to say about my thoughts from now running the event for 2 or 3 days. But we'll get to that in a little bit. One of the things I do want to do is after we talk about the video, I'm going to grab my Astero and we're going to yeet into nullsec and see whether or not we can go out there to run some of the sites to see if that's a valid option. And then see if we can get it home, as kind of an exciting thing to do. Hopefully, if we get time to it. So in the meantime, though, let's go ahead and watch the Pulse video through at least once.
Welcome to the Pulse from the heart of G244, your source of news from EVE Online. Equinox, the newly announced expansion for EVE, will be hitting New Eden on the 11th of June 2024. Equinox will be the first step in the reinvigoration of nullsec, introducing a suite of new upwell structures like the orbital skyhook for access to new planetary resources in sovereign nullsec space, the Sovereignty Hub, which will replace the iHub and TCU and will have Sovereignty upgrades, the automated Metanox moon drill that will provide passive income in nullsec, lowsec and wormhole space, 3 new Upwell haulers and an Upwell freighter, all with missile capability. Upwell have launched a campaign promoting the Equinox suite of solutions to aspiring Capsuleer groups. They have also started a recruitment drive aimed at the population of Empire space with the promise of a new life as the cloned workforce needed to operate the Equinox suite. Check out the links in the description to see each video in full. Also in Equinox, an extension to Skinner will empower creative Capsuleers to design personalized ship skins. This will unlock a new career path, the ability to profit by selling your skin designs and strengthen the collective identity of your group. The Paragon Hub will let you trade skins and design elements, while a collection will represent your inventory of skins, design elements and emblems. Furthermore, Air daily goals will be enhanced with a monthly reward track. Corporation projects will see more variety alongside a Corp window overhaul. June will also see a major update to EVE Vanguard, introducing new activities and objectives, adaptive weaponry, persistence between sessions, and a brand new map. The YC126 Capsuleer Day celebrations and event have begun. Pilots of any experience level and playstyle can join the hunt for riches and take on perilous challenges across the vast abyss. Heed the call of the Society of Conscious Thought and gather points by completing combat, exploration, and manufacturing challenges to gain amazing rewards. Take on Triglavian enemies as you navigate newly surfaced collapsed conduits or even drifters in the abyssal battlefields for the chance to recover priceless loot and filaments. Engaging with abyssal pocket sites can earn you blueprints and rare materials for manufacturing filaments. Persistent pilots can then use these to access increasingly difficult and profitable challenges. Be sure to log in daily to claim valuable rewards like skill points, evermarks, new and exclusive skins, SOCT ship hulls, boosters and fireworks. A war has been raging between powerful coalitions in wormhole space. Singularity Syndicate have been leading a number of alliances against Laserhawks and their allies, with the fighting primarily focused around control of very lucrative Class 6 wormhole space, which has in the past been primarily owned by Laserhawks through their holding alliance Rainbow Knights. Well over 3 trillion ISK has been destroyed thus far, with potentially more destruction to come as multiple alliances are moving to a full war deployment. There have also been assorted back and forth skirmishes occurring in nullsec space. One battle in particular that took place in UTAC-QVWD involved the PandaFam coalition taking on the Imperium to challenge a Fortizar armor timer, featuring approximately 3,000 Capsuleers, resulting in around 1,200 kills and 350 billion ISK in losses. The 6th iteration of the Anger Games, a community-run PvP tournament, concluded on Sunday. After 3 weekends of grueling combat, over 50 teams battled it out in over 125 matches, and in a best-of-5 final against Spooky Action at a Distance, No Spaceships for Old Men won the 4th match to be crowned winners. Organisers Sothrasil and Dirkstatil, working alongside CCP and over 50 volunteers, hosted the game on the CCP and EVE Tournaments Twitch channels. CCP is also contributing a selection of triumphant elite skins to the Plex prize pool the organisers have already gathered for the tournament winners. The 10th annual Frigate Free-for-All community-run PvP event took place in the system of Ualeta on the 20th of April. Organised by Stay Frosty and Lucifer's Hammer, this event once again attracted hundreds of Capsuleers and turned the entire system into a PvP Thunderdome for several hours. The organisers had over 10,000 free fitted frigates which were handed out to all comers, and several thousand of those as well as other Capsuleer ships were turned into wrecks. The free-for-all is always fun and chaotic and is one of the biggest events of the year in low-sec space. New Eden is better with friends, and EVE players regularly meet up to talk spaceships in real life. Recently, Capsuleers converged on New Orleans, and in June they will visit Amsterdam. There, the weekend will be filled with a multitude of activities such as engaging talks, panels, raffles, and a party that will keep you up all night. No matter your character's age or skill points, fitting a ship is one of the hardest art forms to master. To help give a baseline to work from, or give you a goal to work for, the in-game community fittings have been updated. With help from amazing resources like EVE University, even more fits will be added in the coming weeks for all sorts of activities. If you'd like to share your fits with the community, head on over to the EVE Online Discord. There are a number of offers and packs in the Eve store and the New Eden store for you to enjoy currently. In the Eve store, new Capsuleer Day packs offer brand new Imperial, Republic and Aegis Police skins, Omega, Plex and Cerebral accelerators until the 30th of May. Also in the Eve store until the 9th of May, you can enjoy up to 25% off select Plex packs, which include more new police skins. In the New Eden store, federal and state police skins return permanently at a 30% discount, and boost bundles will be 20% off until the 9th of May. That's all for this episode of The Pulse. Thank you for joining us. Remember to check the description below for more information on the Equinox expansion, Capsuleer Day, and all of the stories that we've covered. Then hit subscribe and the bell icon to stay notified of any new videos that we release. See you next time.
All right. Thank you very much for that, CCP. Now, I have the CCP video pulled up. I have, of course, liked, subscribed, and hit the bell icon on the channel and the video, as you should. I will link the video in the text chat right now, and also do that to this video as well, the one that you're watching. It helps a lot. But there is a couple things I wanted to talk about. The Equinox stuff is all pretty much stuff that we've already seen before. With the one exception. Hey, Shads, I'm glad that you made it. Is this what you were talking about? Just, am I still going to do the show? Was I supposed to do something special today? All right, great. So this is probably the best shot that we have seen of the new hauling ship. We don't actually know. Okay, that's good. Okay, good. At first, I was like, uh-oh, was I supposed to have an interview or something with someone today? There's so much going on right now. Yeah, so I did accidentally, so when you make a new video go live, I usually clone the previous one and then update the thumbnail and stuff like that. But usually, you know, like by default, it tries to set it to go live at the next time link, and I have to set it to 11 local manually. But this time I forgot that last step. So I do apologize to anybody who freaked out. I apologize. I will avoid it in the future. But yeah, I know I caused some distress. So I'm sorry. All right. But I don't know if this is going to be the hauler or the freighter. Like, I don't know what tier this is. We do have this other freighter or this other hauling ship right here that we've seen. We don't know because we haven't had enough size comparison yet, so we don't actually. I assume that this is what the Tech 1 and Tech 2 normal what are they called now, haulers, and then this right here is the freighter, but of course we'll have to see. Now, the big thing, though, is this right here, right? This is not him. I mean, he's cool and all, but, like, this is what we're here for, right? Hold on. Let me... see if I can blow this up a little bit. So, and let's bump the quality as far up as I can. Okay. So this is the Skinner. Hopefully you guys can see the details here. I'll be going over some of them. So what I'm going to talk about this based on what we already know from dev blogs and other stuff like that. Okay. So on the left-hand side, we can see that they've picked several different colors. Now it's hard to see here, but it actually does look very similar to, actually, let me just pull up real quick. I go in game and go to the Skinner. Where is that? Oh, it's in corporation now, isn't it? Open Skinner. So let's compare, okay? So on this Skinner, I can see that I can pick a primary, a secondary, and a detailing. And then there's all these colors over here, right? And there's matte, coated, satin of all the different colors. So you can see, like, if I go to crimson, it turns it red. That is matte. That is coated. That is satin. Okay? Makes sense? And it turns this red, and then here I can make this gray and make this, I don't know, forest green. Cool. Okay. It's ugly. Awesome. So by contrast, and the thing I'm bringing up here is also look at the image here. You can see it's like this is their demonstration of the different colors to show. This is a very common thing for materials in like Unreal or something like that. It seems like they're probably inspired by that. But this allows you to kind of see the material and how it works with different lighting systems. Bad Boy Smooth. I will continue to muscle on for everybody's sake. God. Thank you very much, man. Oh, that's very... Oh, my gosh. All right, well, appreciate it. Okay, so, if we go back to the video itself, we can see that these are actually also the same paint things, but with more... I don't know if that's trying to show the nebula on the background or something. Yeah, it does look almost identical to the Unreal Material preview. Yeah, that's what I thought. And then on the right-hand side, there is a pattern, and then, but this pattern has multiple sub-aspects, potentially. Or maybe that's like what type you're picking. And then it also has a color. So in this case, they've picked blue, purple, gold, and black. And then they have it overlaid this like stripy pattern red. And then at the top, oh shoot. It's easier to see when it's full screen. Hold on a second. At the top, it says orbital, offset, and rotate and scale. And then it has an XY axis and X axis and a Y axis slider. Okay. So, and then it says mirror and camera. So the camera check mark, if you watch as they rotate the bar
and strength,
as they rotate the bar, possibly by just dragging around the thing, the decal doesn't move, but the X and Y's do. So this is like allowing you to customize exactly how the decals are projected onto the ship itself. And that's what this, I imagine that's what this camera button does, is control whether or not the ship rotates independently via the camera, or if you rotate the pattern comparatively, you know? So we can see that there's a lot of different options. What's interesting about this is that it doesn't actually look like what I would have suspected. These do not appear to be pre-existing skins. Like I would have, like it seemed before that they'd suggested, well, I could mix and match different, like, of our current skins into this. But you also have over here, this is the studio, and you have the Paragon Hub and the collection. This confirms that the Paragon Hub from the dev blog that we got is in fact a UI more than anything. And so you've got the Paragon Hub, which is like the store to buy, sell, and trade skins. And the collection is like a new UI to let you view all of your different skins. Because right now skins are listed by the type of skin they are. But with people making custom skins, like the skins that you get from CCP and the skins that you get from players are going to just be skins. So, you know, the collection is going to potentially balloon if that's true. So you might want to, like, this is a way to kind of look at or do something about your collection. In the bottom left, we have hull selection. Well, in the bottom left, we have hull selection, save, and save as. So that implies that, like, if you have a custom skin, you could theoretically load it up and then save it, or you could load it up, make a change, and then make a new skin by saving it as a different, saving it with a different name. And then at the very bottom of the skin, it has the option to give it a name. And there's a number here at the bottom. And I imagine that this number represents the number of Skinner publishing licenses that you will need in order to do this particular skin. Okay? Okay, I was thinking that was part of the final skin, the moving pattern, but what you're saying... No, yeah, this is the skin design portion of it. So this is somebody customizing the skin and so selecting how it works. And so they're showing it like it's projected the same way and they're rotating it. And if you look, check it out. As he's rotating it, you can even see like there's actually a transition point. He'll rotate it and the arrow comes down from the top to point at the top axis. Boom, right there. And it is right after he... That's right, we're frame by framing this shit. Don't think I won't. Okay. So yeah, he clicks the button right there. He hovers over the button right there. The arrow comes down. He's clicked on the button. Yeah, so so he clicks on this button to switch it from pattern. So it was doing that effect only because he had the pattern selected. That's why you were able to see the switching pattern. He had this one selected. As soon as he selects the colored one instead, he stops rotating it, selects the colored one. This arrow comes down to mark the top y-axis, and it switches to color. Oops. And then he's able to switch the color. And then, what does that say? Offset pattern projector, control right mouse. Reset pattern offset, control right double click. And precision mode, shift click. So, I'm assuming that that means that if you control and right mouse click, you'll rotate the pattern potentially. Because he's saying orbital and offset. Oh, okay. So, yeah. So the orbital is like how the projection is on a rotational. And then offset will probably offset it forward and back, up and down, right? And he clicks on it. And boom. Yep. That's exactly what happens. He's able to move it up. Okay, great. So that shows a lot about how we're going to be able to build this. Now, how much of these 4 selections are being shown on here? I don't know, like, because there's not very much that is blue, but I don't know if it's like base purple. Oh no, because there is definitely, so there's purple sections and there's blue sections. That's that color and that color. I imagine the gold is like in the trim and the black is the engines and back area. Yeah, it's no blender, but it is pretty strong. And the other thing that I think is really important out of this demonstration is the fact that they're stressing that the whole plan of this is that this is a new career path in EVE Online. Like, you can just be an EVE artist. Like, your primary job is making really cool skins and trying to see if people want them. Because the thing is that it does seem that you will have to do things to unlock things. So you might, like, you're not going to start with all these patterns unlocked. You've got to unlock them over time, probably. So if you get a cool pattern, then you can start integrating it into your new art. Pretty cool idea.
This will unlock a new career path, the ability to profit by selling your skin designs and strengthen the collective identity of your group. The Paragon Hub will let you trade...
I said C, but oh yeah, I did have desktop audio on. Haha, see, I do know what I'm doing.
skins and design elements, while a collection will represent your inventory of skins, design elements, and emblems. Furthermore, Air Daily Goals...
Yeah, so exactly. your design elements and emblems will be part of your collection. So design elements are going to be something you collect over time. Likewise, if you see here, this is the monthly reward track that we've seen before. And this really kind of doubles down a little bit because this is animated. It's very possible that this is what it's kind of close to the final form. And what it shows is that if you're active enough during the month, you're going to get some of your Plex back for the month, which is pretty cool. But you're also going to get a component for Skinner. So rather than getting a skin, like a Halcyon Dawn skin that you do now, although you might still get those for daily rewards, what you're getting here is like a pattern or, a new mat or, whatever type of thing.
Will be enhanced with a monthly reward track. Corporation projects will see more variety alongside a corp window overhaul.
We've talked
June
about
will
those.
also see
Hold on. Actually, let's look at if there's anything interesting in that. Hold on.
projects will see more variety alongside a corp.
This is the new corp window. Okay, so the new corp window looks like it's basically built off of the opportunities window, which is pretty good. I'm happy about that. Is this really? Hold on. Can I make it so I can read it clearly, at least? Whatever. Let me just do it this way. Oh, right. Whatever. That works. So we can see that like the corp details, my corporation, kill reports, bulletins, projects. Maybe people will start using bulletins. So it's really all of the same stuff, but laid out better. And maybe some additional stuff. Laws of war. Members. I wonder how easy it's going to be to join an alliance. That's right now the hardest thing in the whole game. They mentioned you would have to visit other region officials to get new patterns and colors. That's kind of cool. Designing skins is going to be the EVE equivalent of painting miniatures. Probably, yeah. That could be cool. I also really like the aspect that getting skins and, in theory, patterns still need to be purchased. Otherwise, it would just be a flood of trash skins without any value. Yeah. I think it's important that CCP wants it to have value, and more importantly, they want the players to get value out of it, right? Like, they want there to be designers that are rewarded for their work. All of these things were already a thing. But they're laying it out cleaner, is what we're seeing.
Corp window overhaul.
Yeah, so at least here it says the All Alliances button, which at least gives you a hint that that might be the only way to in the entire game to apply to an alliance. So it's better at least.
June.
And then administration, we see title management. So this is characters, auditing, corporation ad, Skinner licenses, skins. Interesting. But what about projects? Yeah. What about projects? No query. Are there not projects here? Oops. That's way too far back.
Corporation projects will see more variety alongside a corp.
More core projects will see more variety. Yeah, I don't know. Am I silly? Am I missing something? I don't know. Either way, carrying on. So, the next thing is they show stuff from Vanguard, right? And I assume that these are scenes from the new site. And I gotta say, guys, my first reaction to it is I'm a little bit disappointed. I mean, like, it still looks pretty cool, but I wanted the new map to be radically different environment to really showcase, like, kind of help set the tone for what kinds of places could be seen, and if not like a tropical thing, I really wanted to see like the interior of a station, just to start opening people's minds to the idea that like, oh well, no, this was a bombed out station. Now the new map is actually a nice, like an operational station that we're sieging or whatever. But when they were like, oh yeah, new fauna and new swampy areas and all that stuff, I mean, that seems very cool too. But I want it to showcase like how much different this is going to be, and like especially this image here. Some of the other ones are better, but like a lot of these images honestly could have been from the previous map. So,
Vanguard, introducing new activities and objectives.
At the same time, I still think they look good.
Weaponry,
like this one is the one I'm conflicted on, because this is a very cool looking environment, but it still looks like it's the same kind of environment that we saw before, but maybe not. I mean, this does look like a very convincing like cave-like environment. It has a lot of interesting possibilities, especially with this thing from on top. One of the interesting things though is that like Vanguard, one of the problems is that like you have all of this rocky, craggy stuff, and whether or not you can navigate over it or how you can navigate over it isn't always clear, and it is one of the frustrations that can exist in the game. So like this idea of, okay, well, what does this mean? Is this just a pipe that somebody can go through? Is this a hole that somebody can drop in from in order to get through here? Is this a cave that can't be climbed over? I have a lot of questions, but this does look like a pretty cool environment, at least. Imagine if they added daylight night cycles to the game. I don't think that would work long term. I mean, like maybe, but like obviously the day-night cycle would be so long. Like in any given match, it would just be at a certain time of the day, depending on what time of day it was on that planet at that time. You know what I mean? And that sounds like a very far in the future thing for Vanguard.
Assistance between sessions and a brand new map. The YC126 Capsuleer Day celebrations and event have begun. Pilots of any experience level and playstyle can join the hunt for riches and take on perilous challenges across the vast abyss. Heed the call of the Society of Conscious Thought and gather points by completing combat, exploration, and manufacturing challenges to gain amazing rewards. Take on...
Okay. I want to talk a little bit about amazing rewards. Now, I think that this event is really cool. Okay. This is by far one of my favorite events that CCP's ever done, or at least like a remake of one of my favorite events that CCP's ever done. However, I do agree with people who are concerned about the rewards out of the sites. And we will talk about this more as we go forward, but I have challenged to argue that this is like as rewarding as most of our previous events. And the reason why is because like a lot of the value of it is in the parts. And a lot of that parts has the zero value right now because that's how these sort of things work. But the problem is that basically all of the value is in that. You know, normally there's like overseer effects or whatever. And in this case, there are data sheets and stuff. But, you know, I would have come to expect at least, you know, 2 to 3 million or maybe a little bit more out of a high-sec or out of a high-sec accessible data site or relic site, at least, with maybe some potential jackpots, and at least, you know, like 10 to 20, 50, maybe 5 to 20 million ISK per site on average with jackpots for a high-sec combat site. Now, there is, and then of course, you know, the low sec and the null sec sites can be much higher, and most events have numbers that are much higher than that, at least double those numbers. This one, like, it does have T2 salvage and stuff. My T3 hacking filament, I did end up with like 60 million ISK, 50, 60 million ISK, on top of the doodads and everything. And I have gotten quite a few Genelution pod implants, especially out of the Edencom caches. That seems to be the big jackpot. But that has its own concerns, because if you're going to put that many Genelutions into the market, that value isn't going to be kept. And a lot of that value is the fact that these implants were given away basically once, and then a second time that they were rare for an event. and that's the only value that's their source, and so that's their value. If you flood the market, that will crash very quickly, unless they're planning on somehow making Genolutions a more normal thing, which also would be weird. But the thing is that I feel like, just for somebody who's trying to access it, like a newer player, the in-your-face reward seems low. But I have a theory about this. My theory is that the real rewards are in the higher tier stuff, right? And the higher tier stuff needs a lot of materials from the lower tier stuff. And the lower tier stuff needs materials from the case-based stuff. So the expectation is that the people who are doing the higher tier stuff won't want to do the lower tier stuff, and so will buy that material to then, and those keys, and then run the higher tier stuff to get the big rewards. And then that money will trickle back as the people that provide the things for the people that provide the things, get paid. And we'll see about that. I think we'll see about that. It's a bold move, Cotton. Let me know in the comments or in the chat if you disagree with me. How are you finding the rewards in the sites? Normally, I have a very strong, visceral response to anybody that's like, oh, the rewards are crap. Even trying to sell some of the material, especially trying to keep the material in order to build more stuff. I've run quite a bit of time doing this stuff, and I'm not sure if I feel as rewarded outside of the genos. I've gotten really lucky with these genos. Yeah, I'll keep you. I'm sure this is something we're going to continue to discuss throughout the month. So let's just keep going.
Triglavian enemies as you navigate newly surfaced collapsed conduits, or even drifters in the abyssal battlefields for the chance to recover priceless loot and filaments. Engaging with abyssal pocket sites can earn you blueprints and rare materials for manufacturing filaments. Persistent pilots can then use these to access increasingly difficult and profitable challenges.
See, that's
Be
what
sure
gets
to
me
log
to
in
think
daily
that.
to claim valuable rewards like skill points, evermarks, new and exclusive skins, SOCT ship hulls, boosters, and fireworks. A war has been raging between powerful coalitions.
Yeah, as an explorer, having perfectly safe sites shouldn't pay out crazy good, but I like them all the same. That's true. A couple other things, by the way. If you do salvage, if you build rigs, especially if you have T2 salvage, now's the time to be keeping an eye on the market and probably putting up buy orders, because there's a lot of extra salvage coming onto the market, and it's being done by people that are more likely to just hit right-click sell and then sell to buy orders and not be bothered, because they don't care about the little bit of ISK that they got from your salvage. They're happy about the geno that they just got or whatever, right? So if you are a rig manufacturer, that's something to keep in mind. Play for one day, got 2 full geno sets, 4 skins, and only 1 accelerator. So drop ratios are... You got full... So I have gotten... Like, yesterday, every single geno I got and heard of getting was all CA4s. And then today I got a CA2. So you said that you've gotten a full set of CA1 through CA4s? Also, what sites were you running, Kernecki? I do agree that, like, the relic sites should pay out. I think that in nullsec, like, I think that the relic sites pay out pretty good for what they are. Like I said, my T3 relic site was about 60 million worth of just stuff like salvage. That seems fair, although the filaments themselves do cost quite a bit of money worth of stuff to build, if you think about it that way. Within the site, there's there is everything from like yellow all the way up to sleeper red. You got 8 genos in one day. Okay, well, at least I'm not the out of the norm ordinary. T1 exploration and combat, got 1 implant from case-based exploration. Okay. I've done 5 ruined electricals and got 2 genos out of it. I thought I was just lucky, but maybe it's a high drop rate. Yeah, I'm actually legitimately concerned about the market for genos if this is going to be the way it is. But we'll see. In addition to that, by the way, what is a geno? Genopods are really, really important because they were given out. Really, really important. Super overselling it. But they are noteworthy because normally if you want to improve your power grid and CPU via implants, the only way to do so is with your 6 slot. There's the EE603 and or 60 series and the EG603 series. So that means that you can either increase your power grid or your CPU, not both. Now, there are some implants that'll make some things easier to use, like weapons and stuff. But overall, if you just need a increase to your power grid and CPU, that's the only way to do it via implants. Obviously, there's no drugs to do it. So in comes the Genos. Geno CA1 has power grid output bonus, and CA2 has CPU output bonus. And all 4 of the Genos help each other's bonuses stack up. So the more, if you have all 4 of them in, it's even bigger bonus. So what this means is that you can fit things with a Genopod that you cannot fit with any other configuration in the game. If you ever see somebody that you kill in a fit or something like that, and you literally cannot make it fit even with maximum skills and implant, chances are they had a Genopod. And people do that. So normally these are fabulously expensive, but of course with everything going on, they're stupid reasonable right now. Hold on a second. I mean, I guess they obviously never recovered from the last time that they were dropping, I don't think. Hold on, let's look at the other ones. Yeah, you could really see where things took a turn. Oof. Yeah. So it looks like CA4s in particular have had their value cut in half. So keep that in mind with your estimates. Which that's not going to make anybody happy either. They've got such low number. Like, the thing is that you loot all these things, and it shows that you've got, like, nothing in value. And you're like, this is dumb. And then you get a Geno, and you're like, woo! 250 million ISK! No wonder, it's all about the jackpots! And then you pull it in, and you see that, oh, look, it's only 100 million ISK or whatever. Like, I think that the real answer is that they need to they need to significantly up the amount of red loot that they're focusing on. The Triglavian encrypted data, this stuff. It sells for 100,000 each. It's a commodity. This is how much I have. So I have what, 127 million? Is that how much this is worth? Is that right? I think so. But like, that's after everything I've collected from everything I've done today, or like so far, and that's not actually that much. So I think that one of the best ways that they could do that is increasing that, or it could very well be that as soon as this gets known as a price, because it's a new item too, so it's listed as 0, maybe people will see the value in what they're doing. By the way, if you are in the convocation, or really if you feel like running these sites, I am giving away, basically my deal is that I will give you filaments to run the sites. I've got T1 and T2 filaments. Well, if I have T2 filaments, but I got T1 filaments, and I give people filaments, and then all you have to do is bring me back the material that you get for filaments, and you get to keep anything else that you want in the site. You do the filaments for free, and all you do is contribute to my growing collection of the ability to build filaments. I believe that collective problems demand collective solutions, and that's what I got for now. So, either way, I guess we can keep going. I'll likely play with the numbers throughout the month as they get data on it, perhaps.
In wormhole space. Singularity Syndicate have been leading a number of alliances against Laserhawks and their allies, with the
So we've been hearing about this now for a couple of months, right? And, people were talking about it. People were memeing about the fact that there's this secret wormhole war. And now, of course, it's full on in the open. Singularity Syndicate is attacking Laserhawks. Now, look, I'm going to say, if there's somebody correcting me in the comments or in the chat, I'm just going to say they're probably right and I'm wrong, okay? But, so Singularity Syndicate is, and also full disclosure, I have been evicted by Singularity Syndicate before, but I will say that it wasn't like, I wouldn't say they were gents about it, but like I talked to the guy afterwards a little bit, and they were pretty cool about stuff. And like I didn't hold any long-term ill will towards them. It was wormhole business, world. But the point of the matter is that like it seems to me that Singularity Syndicate and its leader, oh god, Cypher, I want to say, has always kind of had a thing about bucking against the established norms of wormhole space, while still wishing to, have respect within the community, right? So, like, they've broken a lot of the norms of wormhole space and evictions, but at the same time, when everybody ganged up on them, they got to the find out portion of the F around find out. I remember that he was very matter of fact about the fact that, like, yep, this is the result of what happens, and like took it in pretty good stride, and they continued to plow forward. Laserhawks very much represents the wormhole establishment that you could say that Cindy was opposed to for all this time. I don't know how much they've actually allied in the past or anything like that. I don't know any of that politics. I just, from my understanding of the philosophies of their groups, and again, please correct me if I'm wrong, because this is so far out of my wheelhouse. But my point is that to me, this makes a lot of sense. This is kind of a logical progression of Cindy's rise to power within wormhole community to spearhead this conflict and take it directly to Laserhawks and try to evict them. This is a pretty significant fight. We had somebody in chat that was talking about it. I think it was Uki or Oki. Trillions of ISK destroyed, and I'm sure that this is only the beginning. And so we'll keep an eye both on its effect on the MER and any other kind of news that comes out of that, of course, on the show.
The fighting primarily focused around control of very lucrative Class 6 wormhole space, which has in the past been primarily owned by Laserhawks through their holding alliance Rainbow Knights. Well over 3 trillion ISK has been destroyed thus far, with potentially more destruction to come as multiple alliances are moving to a full war deployment.
It's worth noting that like 3 trillion ISK sounds like a lot of ISK at first, and then you realize for a war this big, like that's actually a pretty not normal churn, but whatever. But also remember that like this is a world in which this is not sovereignty. They can't build capitals, super capitals in here. A lot of these C6 wormholes do allow the use of wormholes to get capitals in, but that means that the invaders are trying to invade with capital forces, and the forces on the inside get to have capitals, but not super capitals. And so when we see these big numbers when it comes to wars, a lot of those numbers are often like capitals and super capitals and titans and whatnot, or super carriers and titans. That's a 3 trillion ISK number without those in it. So that is a lot of destruction for sure. For wormholers, that's like a good weekend of crabbing. It's true. Down on point, Cindy was interviewed on Declarations of War. If you want to hear their side, expect an interview with Hawks as well. Sounds great. Oh yeah, Declarations of War is a great podcast. I should go listen to them, or I should go check that out. Thank you.
There have also been assorted back and forth skirmishes occurring in Nullsec space. One battle
yet,
in
Danny.
particular.
I knew I was getting ready to go. Did I actually end up checking my mail? I did not end up checking my mail. I can go check the mail as soon as I'm done with this section.
That took place in UTAC QVWD involved the Panda Fam Coalition taking on the Imperium to challenge a Fortizar armor timer, featuring approximately 3,000 Capsuleers, resulting in around 1,200 kills and 350 billion ISK in losses. The sixth
My funniest part about that is, every time CCP has to acknowledge names like Panda Fam.
iteration of the Anger Games, a community-run PvP tournament, concluded on Sunday.
I actually, Danny, I blame this video for me forgetting that because I was literally on my way out when I was like, I'll check, and I saw a new Pulse video. I'm like, oh, I have work to do.
After 3 weekends of grueling combat, over 50 teams battled it out in over 125 matches, and in a best-of-5 final against spooky action at a distance, No Spaceships for Old Men won the 4th match to be crowned winners. Organisers Sothrasil and Dirkstertiel, working alongside CCP and over 50 volunteers, hosted the game on the CCP and EVE Tournaments Twitch channels. CCP is also contributing a selection of triumphant elite skins to the Plex prize pool the organisers have already gathered for the tournament winners. The 10th annual Frigate Free-for-All community-run PvP event took place in the system of Ualeta on the 20th of April. Organised by Stay
I had a lot of fun doing this one, but I think we've even talked about this already. We had a good time. I recommend going next year if you can. Then there's the EVE Amsterdam stuff, which is fine. The only thing I found really funny about that is that, listen to this next line.
New Eden is better with friends, and EVE
New Eden is better with friends, he says, while in front of him is hovering the passive moon miner that makes it so that null blocks won't want to moon mine anymore. That's funny. No, I troll. But no, these events are great. If you can ever go to a player event, I strongly recommend it. The community fittings thing, I'm very excited about the community fittings thing. We will probably, not today, but soon, I want to look through the community fittings to kind of talk about them, whatever I think about them, and maybe do some reviews. That could be a fun thing to do. And we covered the Plex packages from yesterday, but there's now a new one, which is for $99, you get the Loki Republic Police, Stiletto Republic Police, Crusader Imperial Police. For $180, you get the Legion, Loki, Stiletto, and Crusader. For $323, Thunderchild, Legion, Loki, Stiletto, Crusader. And for $487, you get Vargur, Thunderchild, Legion, Loki, Stiletto, and Crusader. So this Vargur skin is going to be just expensive. These are huge Plex packages. What am I going to... I can't say anything else. There are, 35 for Crusader. Stiletto and Crusader for 51. The Legion I saw was up for 3 billion ISK recently. And the other thing is that a lot of these ones aren't even the good ones that do the bright flashes. So it is true that, it's a Plex sale and these skins are pretty cool. However, as we're about to get to, these skins are not going to be quite as special as they were before. These are extremely pricey. And at the same time, they're about to really undermine their value. Let's get back to it.
New Capsuleer Day packs offer brand new Imperial, Republic, and Aegis Police skins. Omega, Plex, until the 9th of May, you can enjoy packs, which include Federal
Okay, hold on.
packs, which include more new police skins. In the New Eden store, Federal and State Police skins return permanently.
Federal and state police skins return permanently. Okay? This is huge. Historically, most of the police skins have been like very short releases, usually related, if ever, they are related to like that empire's birthday, like throughout the year. Usually during like the summer and early spring or early fall is when those land. But like they released once and then never again for a long time. And then they came out with a bunch of them and re-released the old ones. And that like shook up the value. But at one point, the Manticore police skin was worth somewhere between 5 to 7 billion ISK. And then they re-released it and it kind of crashed down, but it got over 1 billion or 2 billion again. And now, ladies and gentlemen, that skin, which yesterday would have cost you probably like 1 billion ISK, today you can get for 77 Plex. And as he just said, this is a permanent edition. So what's crazy about this is I took a lot of time looking at the actual store. The pricing of it, even if you assume the 30% reduction, makes it so that this is a tier 2 thing. This isn't even premium. Like the single recolors are a little bit cheaper. They're 50 plex each for the basic recolors. But Vital Shift Ego is more expensive than this. The Triglavian and Edencom ships are more expensive than this. The any sort of skin with effects, the Hex skins are more expensive than these now for the same ship. And you can obviously, I don't know whether or not they're permanent 30% off. He said that they're permanently in the store, and there is no sale up, but that may mean that they bring it back up to 111 or whatever, which puts it on par with some of the like the Helmet Harrier skin, for example, which is kind of a fancy recolor, right? So the Hawk Police skin was multi-billion. It's now 77 plex, okay? So, and this is, I think, a big sign of like, well, the value of skins are about to change significantly, and CCP recognizes that potentially. So, you know, working in skins is always been a risky investment. But if you were expecting your skins to become stupidly wealthy, blah, 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 like, consider this your final warning shot, right? Skins are not necessarily a great, like, long-term investment of hyperinflated value. And we're about to, our relationship with skins is likely going to change soon. So, yeah, do with that as you will.
At a 30% discount, and boost bundles will be 20% off until the 9th of May. That's all for this episode of The Pulse. Thank you.
All right, that's it. And the boost bundles, by the way, just remember that the boost bundles can each be purchased once. So, you know, consider those one-time unlocks for your account. It is on sale. So if that's the kind of thing that you're interested in, now is a good as time of any to pick them up. And those are purchasable with Plex, which you could always get with ISK, right? Might be time to sell your Sorrow Marshall skin. That, well, okay, hold on. I would consider that a super rare skin. The reason why was because that was given out for the collector's edition for Eve. And so, yes, they could really release those. But wowee, would that be some drama. Free Comic Book Day is this Saturday in the United States. Go support your local store and get some free comics. Excellent. Awesome. Yes, absolutely. One second. So I am actually going to put on an Eve video real quick. While I go run to go grab to see if the package is here. This video will I'll probably end it early, so I'm only going to play it long enough to get back. But it's to give you something to pay attention to. All right, I'll be right back.
EVE Online is a vast universe, alive with the unrelenting activity and combined history of its players. Pursuing lives of adventure, warfare, and prosperity, they share this existence in the biggest single shard, free-to-play MMO of all time. Set 21,000 years in the future, EVE takes place in a distant cluster of over 7,000 star systems known as New Eden. It is a rich and diverse universe featuring densely populated havens of relative safety, governed by 4 great empires. Hostile systems, where player alliances make the rules. Even regions of anomalous and unexplored space that hold their own secrets. You play as a capsuleer, a revered breed of highly trained pilot, having achieved immortality through the use of cloning technology. You navigate the universe encased in an armored capsule deep within your ship.
All right. Whew. I ran back. No, it's not here yet. In high sec, your content is PvE, and EVE is legendary for how boring the PvE content is apart from events. Whew. Let me play it for a few minutes while I catch my breath.
Where you have complete neural control and function as one. There are hundreds of ships to fly in EVE. Everything from small, nimble craft and versatile mid-range vessels to formidable warships and colossal freighters.
So, yeah, we've talked about this quite a bit about it, you know. PvE is... Ooh, man, there's so much to talk about when it comes to that, and we've covered it in a lot of other videos. Maybe I'll have a whole discussion about it. I can split off and make like a locked-in video about it. But the biggest thing is that, yeah, a lot of EVE, especially PvE, is better with friends. But also, a lot of people are overwhelmed by EVE. They don't know what to do, so then they see a guide or something that, like, takes them out of the equation, right? Here's the fit, here's the thing that just lets you do it in the most safest way possible or standardized, optimal way possible. You as a pilot don't almost even matter. And then you get bored by it. And, like, yeah, that's partially CCP's fault, but for letting us engineer or optimize the fun out of our own game. But, like, the other piece is that a lot of players are still in the position that basic piloting is challenging enough and engaging enough that all they really need to do is have an excuse to go out there and engage with things in a meaningful way. And it's the act of doing all of that that ends up being interesting. So, you know, it isn't like, if I think theoretically, if I just think about the act of going out and just grinding on dens for hours to get escalations, this might, like, it feels bad. You know, when you think about the percentages of it, one every 20 sites, you know, it's over and over and over again. But in practice, I'm not just grinding the same thing over and over again. I'm flying my ship, right? I manual pilot a lot. I target, select, and change based on my conditions. I'm moving around. I'm paying attention. I engage with it, and it's engaging. There are some things that are quote-unquote boring, like mining, but the difference between relaxing and boring is all a matter of perspective. It's your view on the thing. And so there's definitely activities for all different kinds of engagement levels. That being said, increasingly, there is plenty of to-do for PvE, even as a solo pilot, but definitely as a small group in EVE. It's just a lot of it doesn't get talked about, right? There's running warposts and gun stars. There's running the sun sites. There's, oh shoot, what was the other ones that we've been doing? I mean, there's the Abyss. There's, as I said, the escalations. There is event sites. There's home fronts. You know, even what we find is that even if, like, let's be real, a lot of the times when you play video games, especially a social video game, you're finding an excuse to play with your friend, right? And so, like, coordinating with people in order to do level 4 missions is fun, even if doing level 4 missions by itself is not. Because you're hanging out with your friends. The level 4 missions is just the justification for it, the premise, right? And it is the thing for you guys to work on together. If you want to do more complicated things, then go for it. And again, if you're by yourself, there are other kinds of challenges out there. But CCP and Eve isn't going to force those challenges upon you. That's really where you come in to figure out what levels of challenges you want to go for. The problem is a lot of people say, well, if it's something I can do, then it's easy because I have the power level to do it. And if it's something I can't do, then it's just too hard or whatever. But I think that there's challenges out there. Yeah, I even beg CCP to tell the artist to not remove the blinky light. It's very strange that some of them don't have blinky lights. I was wrong about the event. Managed to make some more than 3.5 billion ISK from it today. Skill in it is intensive though. Didn't know about implants, so you're right, Ash. My bad. That's really funny because I was just talking earlier about how I think that the rewards seemed a little bit low to me too. So I was saying that you were right. So that's good to know. Well, hopefully it seems like the answer is somewhere in between, right? All right. Maybe PvE is boring, but I'm shit at PvP. The thing is that like PvP happens so quickly that oftentimes it's hard to assess all of the things that's going on, and it's hard for a pilot to like take very much from it. But doing repetitious PvE, like, don't just challenge yourself to sit there and be like F1, F1, F1. Pilot, look around, check things out. See if you can get, pay attention. Oh, shoot, I'm not hitting as much. Maybe I should manual pilot. Like, I've picked up a couple of tricks in these sites just because I'm doing it over and over again. I'm thinking about it every single time. How do I make this better? How do I, is there piloting mistakes that are being made? Is there things I can shave off? Is there things I can understand better? Is there patterns that I can find, right? So I find there's plenty of things to do, personally. In fact, I personally find that there's almost an excess of things to do recently. But that being said, I'm very happy that the event is finally here, so that way we have something that's like a concrete thing to bite onto. All right. Let's move on. Before we go into the actual Yeet exploration, I do want to say one more thing, which is that I was wrong. I was wrong. Timestamp this. Hold on. We're 1 hour and 15 minutes into the video. I was wrong. Well, maybe a little bit less than that. I was probably wrong about that too. But I've been wrong for a long time. For years, I have told people that Concord is able to use their E-War on our ships as effectively as they are because they were given specific tools by the Jovians that allow them to shut off our capsule's connection to our ships. And I've also talked about how the reason why we have to obey predominantly the rules on some ostensible level, including in nullsec, is because of Concord's control over the standards and practices of cloning. This makes sense to me, and I still think it does make the most amount of sense. However, last couple streams ago, Laura Light corrected me, and I was very dismissive about the correction. That, oh yeah, well, as per Delegate Zero, that's not true. I often hear people claim things like, oh, as per Delegate Zero, as their one and only source. But, you know, bless her heart, Lorelite delivers with evidence. Here is Delegate Zero, the senior narrative designer of EVE Online, explaining that Concord does not control all Capsuleer cloning contracts. They don't control all cloning facilities. They don't even control all FTL comms infrastructure. Moreover, the implication that Capsuleers require the fluid router chain between them and their cloning facilities built-in fluid router is not true. The blackout wasn't about clone personality transmission. It pertained to every other critical use of the network. So I'm not 100% sure. See, here's the thing about that. The statement that it was brought down in order to allow for critical usage like cloning is what was said in the actual articles. I'm not sure exactly what he's trying to correct there, but I can and I do question, like, well, what does the SEC do? Or the, I guess there is no, like, FTC that controls the comms in the same way. So maybe that is true. I mean, that obviously, I mean, like, if he says it, it is, but, and then he goes, they can't. The idea of Concord can turn off Capsuleers as a persistent one with some seeds and deprecated lore. So at least I had a seed somewhere, but it's simply not the canonical position. Capsuleers have had the ability to establish their own cloning infrastructure for most of its lifetime, and this has been well represented by the games by various features, like our cloning bay and our structures. So that's fair. We do know that Concord does have some of the best tech in from all 5 empires, including the Jove, and that is why they are as strong as they are. We do know that the Jove did rearm them after the zombie incident, Zombico incident. So it says so on the lore thing there. But obviously they don't have the magical tech that I thought they did. And then everything else here, I don't think, yeah, this is just other stuff. Like, no, we're not going to stop writing lore. Cool. So I did want to issue that correction. I know that's been said a lot, and it bothers me that, you know, when I find out something that I've been spouting for a long time is wrong, it bothers me, and I want to get it corrected, so I wanted to put it out there clearly. That is currently, as far as I know, as far as June 2020, the canonical positions on these matters. So, without further ado, let's move on. Okay, so PvE is best when you do it little and often. Think bite-sized farming, not grinding. Yeah, I can agree with that. Love the lore dumps. Hey, I give it to you as often as I can. All right. So, what are we doing today? I have this Astero. This is the Astero I was using Tuesday and have been using. This is my all-in-one Astero. This does complete the all of the hacking sites and the K-space anomaly. The secret is that you just orbit the rat at 25 kilometers, and then it can barely scratch you. That does mean that the afterburner and the web are arguably useless. So if you want to, you could swap those out for something else, whatever you want it to be. However, I still use these things. I have an instinct. This is my defensive actions, right? Whereas if I get scrammed or even webbed, I can still use my afterburner and web to get away. So that's one of the reasons why I prefer this anyways. But yeah, if you want to change these two, that's up to you. Otherwise, the fit is on my workbench. PvE shouldn't be a chore, and it should be a fun story content like a new tutorial. Yeah, but the problem is that there's no such thing as non-repetitive PvE. Like, MMOs, there has to be a certain amount of repeatability to it. Like, it can't be all handcrafted stories and stuff like that all the time. Especially since the problem is that literally as soon as they get published, EVE is a living universe. So we kind of laugh about how many times the bodyguard has let the maiden slip away or whatever. but like there is a certain issue when it comes, especially with the lore, that like something that happens, you know? The idea when we dual propped it was to use the AB and web against the drone since they have missiles, but I don't think those might have been helpful if you look at the Astero. But I do think that those might be helpful if you took the Astero into low sec. I agree with you. It's just that Zip. That's why I was giving my updated thoughts about this. So there also is one little thing of strategy that I want to show people. Let us. Actually, what do I want to do? Yeah. Let's go ahead and show it. I'll do one ruined electrical with you, or one vicious electrical, since I have a vicious electrical. We'll do that. It's a T2. Wait, hold on. Vicious is not T2 exploration. That's combat. Yeah, that's combat. All right, hold on. Oops. Devastated electrical? Oh, good. I do have a couple. We'll do a T2 electrical. I want to show you guys a little trick at some point during that time. And then we'll get to Yeeton.
Warp drive active.
And by the way, just to update, still no metamorphosis. SOCT don't want you bringing your ships to on your investigations for them. Not even one camper. What would camping what? So Dracovic is like the mid tier. I think it's a yellow. Leshaks are red, and Zernitras are sleeper red, but those don't show up until at least tier 3. Or sorry, those don't show up until tier 3, I should say. Oh, what? Oh, no. Oh, no! Okay, that works. So, this one is 88 kilometers away. That means it's on the opposite side of the room from me. So I'm going to go this way, because I want to go out the other side. But at the same time, when I get out the other side, I want to get onto it as fast as possible. So I'm going to head towards the boundary. And as I see the boundary appear, I'm going to make sure I have the one I want selected. I'm going to see when I go across the boundary. And as soon as I cross the boundary, boom, I hit approach onto the other thing. I start realigning, and I'm already approaching it once I jump over to the other side. This is extremely important during the towers, because in the combat site, because the towers are excuse me, are right next to a speed cloud. So you want to use the speed cloud to get to the tower quickly and kill it, but then and get across the boundary. But then you're in another speed cloud on the other side, and you might rocket past the point that you were, the actual second tower. And I've been like 30 kilometers before I could stop. So I started doing that, and that way my ship is like slowed down a little bit and then is right on top of that tower, Like, literally as soon as I jump through. It's very, very handy. Do not try that in the Abyss. It does not work in the Abyss. Lies and slanders, boundary tricks work in the Abyss. Well, there were boundary tricks back in the day when there was abyssal PvP, because you would use the boundary to kill the opponent's drones. Whatever. Boo! Oh, rule of 6. Does anybody else say rule of 6 out loud every time you get one, even if nobody's around? Just me? Okay. I always feel slightly proud of myself every time I find one. Okay. There we go. Wait. Is there any lower implications about why it works like that in the event? So the real answer is because the first time this event was released, it was Doctor Who, and it was to represent the timey-wiminess of it. And now it's because it's a collapsed conduit, so its space-time is folded back on itself, basically. No, there is no NPCs in the hacking filament. Would you be in for a revamp of the hacking minigame? I think that like, there's a lot of people that like the hacking minigame. I think it's kind of a sweet spot of complexity where, like, I've been doing it for like a decade and I still am okay with it, and people that are doing it now. So not a serious revamp. I would certainly ask why you would even consider that before, like, PI. Yes, there are hacking filaments. There are 3 tiers of relic filaments. My last video that I just came out, my last stream, we go over all of the details. But what I'm in right now is in a Tech 2 hacking filament, or Tier 2 hacking filament. Every time I loot a spike right away, I hear in my head that, hee hee, I'm in danger. Luckily, I'm not this time. So far I've made 10 million ISK. Plus materials. Whoops. Don't do that. Yeah, I want meaningful PI. Well, I either want meaningful PI or I want Echo's PI, right? I either want PI to be like interesting. I get to have a colony and feel kind of invested in it if I want to. As invested as I can, or as I feel like I want to be. Or I want it to be a totally passive thing that is basically a reward for logging in and clicking the button to renew it. And I just have to go pull it out when it's full, right? One of the two. This midpoint where it's just a little bit of work every day, like, ends up not being able to, like, I feel like that just ends up making it be painful. As long as it's less clicks, I want it to be more about, like, well, there's a lot of different ways to do it. I want it to be something you develop over time, right? Like, maybe factories become more efficient, or you could purchase individual upgrades for individual pieces, or you know. There's too many good city builders out there for PI to basically be the most annoying facsimile of that. I mean, saving preset, yes. There are obvious quality of life improvements that could be done to just make what is currently in existence possible, and that's another avenue to do it. I'm just advocating for a rethink of how planetary interaction is done, right? What does it mean to have a colony? In the Chronicle, Vestivis, or whatever his name is, talks personally with his colony manager. I don't have a colony manager name. I guess I can make up the headcanon for it, but like, you see what I'm saying? I want volumetric clouds on the Earth-like planets. I mean, that's a good point too. Yeah, I do think also with all of this new focus on planets and we're outside of planets, there are definitely some planets that could use a little bit of additional love. You're with Brave and you multi-box, so I recently had to relocate 12 colonies. Wait, hold on. 120 Wait, hold on. How many? There's a heart in the way. 120 plus colonies. That's too many colonies. I can't be bothered to move my 4. So I mean, like, at the very least, I want there to be special events, right? Like, it shouldn't be so formulaic. Maybe there's an explosion in the factory, or, you know, a new mineral pocket is discovered, or something to update it. Like, something to make me feel like I'm actually dealing with something. I mean, hell, I log into my No Man's Sky game and I see, oh, my colony's under attack, and I stop what I'm doing and go and deal with that. It isn't going to do anything. It's just there whenever I next go there. But I still, oh, my colony's under attack. Cat Ear Research Facility. I want to name all my facilities this. Oh, now we got to drop like a Raitaru for invention. Why? I'm going out of range? No? Yes? Maybe? No? No. There it is. All right, and that's it. We get 7 million ISK plus 4 million, 11, 12 million ISK. Oh no, that's 7 million includes this. So 4 million plus like 8 million ISK for this whole site. 14 minutes of work. Deathclaw attack incoming. Satonia! You know, the metamorphosis still isn't allowed in the filaments.
Warp drive active.
All right, so now what we're going to do is to close off today and close off this week. I'm going to do one of my silly ideas. So, historically, you know, if you want to, you can do sites in nullsec. And so I've often suggested, like, well, if you want to find sites, if you want to do high-sec sites, but do them in nullsec, you can yeet out to nullsec. But a lot of the time that's, you know, not a great idea. I know we did like mining sites in winter event and, you know, whatever, but in this case, what we're looking for is hacking and anomalies, and we can do them in an Astero, which is the ship that we want to use for exploration anyways. So what we're going to do is put all this stuff in there and put this other stuff here. We are going to yeet to nullsec and then check out what we can find there. So we take a noise 5 filament and do I have any proximity? No. Divana. I'll take a border. Divana's fine. All right. And actually, I'm going to grab at least 2 other noise filaments just in case. So all told, this is 4.1 million plus my fit. Make sure I'm in a blank clone because I'm doing something silly. I am. All right, let's go. You know, I should at least repair my modules. I'm sure that's going to annoy some people if I don't. I was also thinking about dropping the hobgoblins for ECM drones, but let's leave it open for terrible things happening. Oh, also, there's a huge update to content warning. I should check that out today, later. Not on stream, obviously, but... And even Raid Shadow Legends is coming out with a whole bunch of quality of life improvement updates. You know, CCP, balls in your court.
Warp drive active.
People can do it 2 times faster with a special cheetah, sensor boosters, event boosters, and a notebook to mark every useful can very fast. I mean, this game gets as try hard as you want to be. Right click on myself. More fleet width. It's not about how fast you can do it. It's how lazy you can be. Well, it's about how lazy you can be. Well, it's more like what you can do the most, right? If you need it to be challenging in order to engage with you, and that's what will get you to do it the longest, then, you know, do that. If doing it in a very kind of relaxed way will let you do it for a long period of time, then chances are that'll be the best way to do it. It's really up to you and what you're looking for your game and your life. All right. What? Well, I'm probably in drone lands. Without checking, I have a hunch. I'm in the Spire, a region don't believe I've heard of. Hey, that's a good way to complete your daily goals all at once. Hey, whoa, 3 desolate collapsed. Why is my controls not listening to me today? Yes, this here Sancha country. Combat site, that means it's definitely not what I want. Go pull that in.
Warp drive active.
So I would suggest so far this has been pretty good. So I know there's been some arguments back and forth about whether or not the tower vault is necessary to be the first thing you hack or not. I'm pretty sure if you hack any of the caches, it will despawn. I think it's possible that the tower vault does despawn the signature faster. And it is also possible that the Edencom can does not delete the site. But ultimately, I don't know anything right now. Oh, don't go. Don't. Where are you going? Where are you going? God damn it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. There it is. I didn't want it to be there, but it was. So now we can see it's already cleared away. So now nobody else can scan it down. They'd have to combat scan me. This is very useful in high sec too, because, you know, that means that if you're the first person to get to it, then you can close it off pretty quickly and then nobody else can just scan it down. The other thing about that is if you scan down all the signatures in an area and then roam around in that area, you'll quickly see the new signatures, and those new signatures have the greatest chance of being these kinds of sites because they're the sites that are being run and recycled. And the nice thing about nullsec is we can see over here, local. I'm the only person in local. I can pretty much rest assured. Hey, rule of 6. I can pretty much rest assured that there is no one else in system with me. It's impossible for somebody to catch me without them showing up in local. Unless, of course, local's bugged at the moment, which does happen. Enter. Enter is the keybind to loot all by default. Speaking of quality of life changes that CCP made a while back. Telling you have a run for your life because the timer is still up and you can't use the filament to Potchfin. Does get your blood pumping though. Yeah, but I've got a cloak. Let's see. Look at all that rule of 6 space. And they're all 5s. Oh. Hey. Now, we probably won't stay out here for too long. I might just run these 3. I just wanted to show you guys, like, this kind of concept. I've done other Yeet exploration guides, but, I mean, with 3 sites in the same system, I feel like this is a pretty good demonstration. But feel free to let me know in the comments below if you have tried any Yeet exploration for this event, and how did it go for you? Did I get streamer luck? That's the question. Hey, Eden Common Survival Cache. Those are... So, the Rex and everything give you the red loot and the other such things. The stuff to build the filaments and such. The Eden Com gives you the celebratory stuff. Fireworks, and then also like the jackpots like Geno. Metal Scraps Bonanza! Well, yeah, I can just cloak. But, I mean... Yeet, there will be Yeet explorers. I mean, my main Yeet exploration video shows doing it in a, well, actually, yeah, shows doing it in a ship without a cloak, and because, you know, using a ship that is very, very cheap is fun. But if you want to, I mean, Covert Ops ships are pretty cheap too, if you get into them. This is just like, if you're a newer player, oh shoot, there's somebody in local. If you're a newer player and you are having difficulty competing with people in K-Space or in like HiSec, it is not a terrible idea to do this and go out with something really cheap. Something that if it all goes wrong, that's fine. But, you know, maybe you get some stuff done. Well, he recognized me. That's... Oh, gosh. Well, Hekates make me nervous. Are you the YouTuber? Yep, and we're live. Roll a 6. I'll pop in and say hi. Hopefully not with the Hekate. Don't do it with the Hekate. I'm perfectly fine waving from a distance. Oh, well, he's also hunting for event sites. Wow. Hekate is probably a really good choice for this too. Did mine in a Navy issue Heron last night. Forgot cloak. Spent 10 minutes warping between a bunch of points being chased by probes. I mean, you know. That sounds like an adventure. Hey! Christopher, awesome. Good to see you, man. Yeah, you had me, you got me nervous real fast. But, are you just doing the combat sites then? Or are you also doing the relic? Because if you want, there's 2 other relic sites in here. And I'll leave them to you if you want. I was just wanting to demonstrate what Yeet, that you could do Yeet exploration as a method of doing this event. But yeah. Okay, you're only doing the combats? Alright, well then I'll do the other desolates in here. Sweet. Having good luck out here? Are you also yeeting, or is this your territory? Yeah, good dude, man. As a matter of fact, I'm done with this can. Here. There you go. That's your good dude prize. Yeah. Okay, great. It's blue space for me, but you're yeeting all over. All right, cool. Well, in that case, I have one more site to do. Hey, no problem. No problem. Consider it your payment for your special guest star on my show. I just noticed that this is actually a minor conduit. The one I went to before was a major conduit. That's interesting. I wonder if there are multiple layouts and if that means anything. Power vault first. I'll have you know, this guy's being in here and he's really cool. Still keeping an eye for combat probes. This is literally, I yeeted out, got this system, and there's 3 sites in it. So, yes? I was just, like, I did a lot of farming yesterday, too, so I really didn't need the parts per se. I wanted to show the fact that you could do Yeet exploration to do it. Because this Astero can do the combat and the relic sites in K-Space. Proof you got no probes. You know, I can modify my fittings too. Hold on, check it out. Check it out. Ready? I'm teasing, by the way, but I can go like this, and I can be like, look, proof. I don't even have a cloak, man. I don't even have a cloak. Tap, tap, tap. Link looks photoshopped, I can tell by the pixels. Uh-oh. Oh, cool. Thanks, Bash. Although, honestly, you should just run it. Now that I've accepted it. I will say, me doing this site while keeping an eye on D-Scan is me trusting you. If I didn't trust you, I wouldn't still be here. At least a little bit. If I didn't trust you, at least a little bit. At least now I trust that it'll be a cool story either way. That's what I'm really here for. Well, dang, you got me. There you go. All right. Oh, nope, we do have a couple more. This is a moment for me too. Well, there you go. Where? What? There it is. Wow, that's a lot of isolated dimensional thread. By the way, side rant. What is an isolated dimensional thread? I mean, like, I get it. A lot of Eve has pseudoscientific stuff or whatever, but honestly, a lot of the science of Eve, especially when it comes to the Triglavians, is strikingly realistic. But like this one here, this device of unknown construction containing a single thread of space-time captured inside of an unknown site, in combination with the correct materials, this component could be used as the basis of an internet filament connecting the correlating dead space pocket. This thing doesn't make any sense to me. Like, what does it mean to be a single-dimensional thread, right? Can I open up the can and let the single-dimensional thread out? What would happen if I did that? Is there other dimensional threads? Do I weave them together? Why does the filament require 30 of... I don't understand this item at all. I feel like this is like the... They went a little bit too off the rails on that one. Sounds like something from the Enderverse. I'll believe you on that one. All right. So, we are done with all of the sites in the system. The internet is a series of tubes. String theory... Well, that's the thing. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, is this a single string? Like, that doesn't... Like, what? What is that what they're intending it means? Is that stable? How is it contained? Is it a vat? I don't get it. I don't get it. If somebody wants to try to explain it to me, that'd be great. Right, but my point is that most of the time the MacGuffins actually have... There's a there. This really does feel like a not real thing, you know? It's almost like H.P. Lovecraft, you know? It's a description of a thing that's impossible in order to be like, whoa, you know? I don't get it. I don't understand what it even means. What are they even suggesting is in when they say a single thread of space-time? Does that mean that like this is a captured point in space-time and that's why we can wrap back around because it's like a frozen position in time that we're able to use these threads to be able to get back to? That'd be cool, but like I'm guessing that. I don't know. What? I want to make a whole series about the Triglavian science and the sciences of Eve, and I have made some stuff about it. And so far, most of everything I found in Eve has some sort of thing to bite onto, but this is the most confounded piece of lore that I've found in a long time. Because Doctor Who has rarely tried to involve actual science. This isn't a Doctor Who one, though. It was fine when it was Doctor Who stuff. The Doctor Who stuff brought weirdness to our world. That's whatever. I don't know. Can I trade you 2 tier 2 combats for that tier 3? Almost certainly. But first I need to try to get home. Step 1, Hodgman. What the fuck? Well, that's cool. Awesome. Well done.
Warp drive active.
I didn't even launch my probes in time. Two signatures. So there's two signatures. There's combat. There's Sister Core, not combat. So Jackdaw. And some frigates. I'm in Cryperoon. Fails 5 jumps away. What is Sakenta near? Caldari space. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, this is the Sakenta's the one that's right next to Jita. Oh wait, it doesn't matter. I don't have an extraction filament, but I could. Okay, no. So I do want to try to probe it down. Okay. Because if I can get a probe out here, then I'll end up at Jita, and that would be cool. Otherwise, I can just use a Divana when the time comes. These are cores, not combats, so they can't get me here. And besides, now I'm cloaked. Okay. What? Open the probe window. You can buy filaments in Pochman Market. Yeah, I could buy extraction. And Eve Greed is your friend. Eve is a video game about the practical application of bad ideas. Eve Greed is good. Oh boy. So the ring means it's in the top right here. I have 11 minutes on the timer. That's what I was afraid of. Is there any way to snap your probes to your mouse or a signal? No, not to snap the probes. You can snap your camera there and then move the probes into position. No signature detected. Wait, what? Well, that's why I do the double click. So I double click to center it, and then I double click in space. That way I can just move the probes like this, not using arrows. And then I double click in space, move it down. And that should just about do it. Because, yeah, going after the little handles isn't always the easiest. But as long as you're looking at it from above or the side directly, like that, then you can just free grab it.
Drive active.
Now, my least part of this, favorite part of this journey, because when you get to the wormhole, depending on how you come in, you might end up decloaking yourself. I hope not. I am going to just make a save on my way in. Whoa. Yep, just like that. Well, fuck. I might make it. I might make it. I probably won't, but I might. I might make it. I didn't make it. Fuck! Whatever, just pod me. The one risk I took. The one risk I took. Congratulations, guys. Ah! The one risk I took. So what I could have done is descan it ahead of time. It was very close. Congratulations to those of you who got me. Very lucky. Oof, shakes. Well done. Just the two of them, too. Ah. If I had fucking brought Overclocker or Hard Shell or taken my booster or had my ECM drones that I wanted, any of those could have saved me. That's how close I was. That's why I go with the dual prop, by the way. That's how I was able to be so close. Man, okay. Whew. But that was exciting. All right, I've been Ashrathi. Thank you so much, Sheesh, for the 5 gifted subs on behalf of Donovan, Ragtag Pro, Wildcard, Daniel Funt, Blamkey. Thank you guys, or thank you, Sheesh. Woo! Your methods and videos have made scanning many times faster. Now you just have to spend the money for the mods and boosts. Oh, man. Well, thank you guys. Make me feel a little bit better by liking this video, sharing it with a friend. But I will see you next week. Until then, I've been Ashrathi, the voice of New Eden. And until next time, I'll see you in space. I know I have something else to talk to people about, but, you know, whatever. There's a convocation meeting this weekend. Bye.